first off, you've surveyed the area, you've been here, seeing all the damage. Tell me, what's your first reaction to what you're seeing?
I've been here since Sunday, and it's just devastating what I've seen. The anxiety that I see in the face of families who still are trying to find loved ones, people that have lost their homes, or they think about their businesses that won't be able to get back into operation for some time. But I've also been encouraged by the emergency responders, the effort, the energy that I've seen, volunteers coming in here to help people. This truly is a volunteer state. I'll share a story with you. I was in the next county, and the bridge had just been verified as being safe to travel, but a 2,000-yard stretch that's the approach to the bridge had washed out. The county officials out trying to figure out what they're going to do, and a guy came up and said, I got a dozer. Came out there with his dozer, started moving river gravel around, and he called a couple of friends, and they said they worked through the night, and 36 hours later, they fixed that approach, they built it, that is operable now. That's Tennessee volunteerism, and we're seeing it every day here. What I'm also seeing is an outreach from people across the country and across the globe, and I appreciate you helping make this point clear to people all across the nation. This is a true disaster. This is something that's never happened before. They talk about risks at 1 in 100-year intervals, 1 in 200-year intervals. Sometimes you see something like this once every 500 years. This event here, more than 1,000 years. It's never been seen before. And the volume of water that was concentrated right here in northeast Tennessee, if you were to spread that evenly across the state, it would be 3 feet deep, just to put it into perspective. This is an enormity that we have never seen. And the fact that the community is coming together as strong as they have, we're finding people, that we're getting people back in service, very important.
How do you feel about the response that you're seeing and some of the things that you heard today about some of the miscommunication that you're hearing about on the ground here?
There are always going to be opportunities to learn from whatever miscommunications may have occurred. But if I compare what happens here in Tennessee to what happens in Washington every day, I think we're doing a good job in a very tough situation. And again, this is a situation we've never seen before. Someone asked me earlier, could you have done more to plan for it? Nobody ever expected a greater than 1 in 1,000 year event to occur. But we're planning very carefully now for what happens if we get another major storm, because the ground is saturated right now. The water levels are very high behind all of these dams, so TVA is working very aggressively to move the water out of here, to get the water down, so if in a week's time we have another incident, that we're going to be better prepared to be able to accommodate that.
And I know that you mentioned that you are working with some of your counterparts in the federal government. What else are you doing to bolster support?
Well, at the federal government level, we are moving everything. I talked to the White House yesterday. I'll be talking with them again later today. We're moving everything through the process, and no one is trying to get in our way. So I feel good about this. The governor explained the order of things had to do with landfall. So Tennessee was on the back end of it, unfortunately, the most severe end of it as well. But we have everything moving at pace right now. I don't see any reason for delay, and Senator Blackburn and I are going to do everything we can to make certain that this is accelerated at the highest possible level.
Is there anything else you want to hit home to folks, or anybody who's missing, looking for a missing loved one?
I think to the families that are still missing people, my heart goes out to you. I cannot imagine the anxiety that you feel. The good news is that we've got Starlink communicators up right now for emergency responders. We've got Verizon and AT&T in here trying to figure out how to get people connected again. And a lot of this is simply that people just cannot reach others by phone. So, given the anxiety, I understand. I would feel the same way about my own family. But I sincerely hope that we're able to address that issue, and therefore I hope it'll help bring, calm people down a bit. The other thing I'm really worried about, though, there are some areas here that are landlocked. We lost the one bridge or the one road that got to their neighborhood or their community. We're going to have to find ways to deal with that very aggressively. Right now, we're using Black Hawk helicopters to do this, just bringing in the essentials like generators, water, food. But it's going to get a little bit more difficult when people start thinking about kidney dialysis, radiation treatment. As we get a little bit longer into this, we're going to have to come up with answers, and it's going to have to happen fast.
And speaking of that, are you working on that right now?
Yes, we're working on it right now.